You ever have one of those brilliant ideas that just falls flat when you say it out loud? You know exactly what you want to say, but somewhere between your brain and their ears, it just gets lost? Well, the secret isn't always a better idea. It's a better structure. Today, we're going to look at the architecture of a powerful argument using a really simple but incredibly effective framework. You know, at the heart of every single conversation, there's this fundamental battle going on. The fight between clear communication and just total confusion. We're about to give you the blueprint to win that battle, pretty much every single time. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? That really frustrating feeling when your point gets completely lost, or you just can't seem to find the right words in the heat of the moment. It's something we all go through, but listen, it doesn't have to be the default. And this right here is the problem. In your mind, your idea is this perfect, straight line. It's crystal clear. But without any structure, it hits your audience like a tangled ball of yarn. And that gap between what you meant and what they heard, that's where great ideas go to die. So how do we fix this? Well, we need to stop just saying things and start building them. A really powerful argument needs an architecture, a solid foundation that can support every single point you make. I absolutely love this metaphor. A framework isn't a script, it's scaffolding. It's this temporary support system that lets you construct a really robust argument on any topic. And the best part is, you don't have to memorize a single line. And probably the most effective scaffolding you can use is called the Peel method. It's a simple, pretty elegant tool for organizing your thoughts and making sure that every single word you say serves a clear purpose, building towards a powerful conclusion. Okay, so let's get into the blueprint. Peel isn't just a catchy name, it's a 4-step process. Think of these as the 4 structural pillars that are going to hold up any argument you decide to make. And those pillars are point, evidence, explanation, and link. That's it. Just 4 simple steps that can take your thoughts from that tangled mess we talked about to a crystal clear message. Let's break each one down. So first, you got to lay the foundation, the point. This is your main message stated as clearly and concisely as you can. Here's a little tip. A really great point is usually just one single debatable sentence. Then you back it up with solid proof. That's your evidence. This could be data, a specific example, a fact, anything that backs you up. But look, evidence doesn't mean anything without the next step, and it's a crucial one, explanation. This is where you connect the dots for your audience. You have to explain why the evidence matters and how it proves your point. And finally, the link brings it all home, tying everything back to your bigger picture. The link basically answers the listener's silent question, so what? Now, this all sounds great in theory, but where can you actually use this? Well, the answer is pretty much everywhere. This is not just some academic tool, it's a fundamental life skill for communicating clearly. Just think about it for a second. You could be crafting a business proposal or a budget request, writing a press release, debating a point with a friend, acing a high-stakes speaking exam like the IELTS, or, even just making a clear request at work or at home. Peel gives you the structure you need to succeed in all of these situations. Let's walk through a real-world example to see how it works. Okay, so for your point, you'd say, infants should not be given iPads because studies show they can face developmental delays. Simple, clear. For evidence, you bring in the proof. A recent pediatric study showed that infants with too much screen time may experience speech delays. Now for the explanation. This happens because passive screen time takes away from active play and human interaction, which are both crucial for brain development. And finally, the link. Therefore, to ensure healthy development, it's best to limit iPad use for infants. You see how logical and solid that feels? And that feeling of solidity, that's the ultimate payoff. Using a framework like Peel does way more than just organize your thoughts. It fundamentally changes how people perceive you and your ideas. So if there's one thing you take away from this, it's this. Structure commands respect. When you speak with clarity and logic, your voice just carries more weight. People listen differently. They don't just hear you, they understand you, and they're way more likely to be persuaded. And you know what? Maybe the most important thing is that this whole process builds confidence in yourself. It lets you break free from that tangled mess of disorganized thoughts. When you know you have a solid structure to fall back on, you can walk into any conversation, a boardroom, a debate, a family discussion, knowing that you can get your ideas across with power and precision. So, The scaffolding is in place, and the blueprint is now in your hands. You have the tool to build clear, persuasive, and memorable arguments. The only question left is, what argument are you going to build first?